All right, we are back with another pick'em video. It is Tuesday, March 11th in the NBA with a smaller 4-game slate. We're going to go over the recap from yesterday's video. We're going to talk about some injury news, and we're going to get to two plays that I like. I also have a lean in this one as well. Not going to try to force anything just because it's a smaller slate, coming off kind of a bad day as well. We're going to try to bounce back here. So definitely liking the reads for today. If you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. When you do that, it does tell YouTube to push this video out a little bit more. So I appreciate and I enjoy reading all those. So leave your comments down below. If you like something, let me know in there. And definitely read those comments. Sometimes people are dropping fire down there. So let's get into the recap, talk about some injuries, and then we'll jump into some plays. All right, so jumping into the recap, and yikes, yeah, not the best day in the world. First of all, Brook Lopez ended up getting injured in that first quarter. He voided on most books. If you took this on some sportsbook that doesn't void it, that's unfortunate because I think it was going to be a pretty solid read there once he got the time. Donovan Clingan under 9.5 points and assists. He got much more time than I thought. Cole Anthony over 18.5 PRA. Should have just gone with my gut and gone to the rebounds and assists because he didn't score very well, but he did cash his rebounds and assist line. Kevin Durant over 5.5 rebounds. He had 2 in the first half, ended with 5 on the hook in a pretty high scoring game there. And then OG Anunoby, our only guy that came through for us, at 24 points. So at least we had a good read overall there. But yeah, a 1-3 day, not the best in the world. A huge slate as well. And honestly, overall was not the best day in the world for me. The only positive note pretty much for the entire video is the DG Fantasy slip of the day, the thing we've done 3 times in a row, cashed out for us again. So a nice 6x over on Dabble, the Khalil Ware, Paolo Banchero, Steph Curry. If you don't know, that's coming right from DG Fantasy. This is a positive EV tool. I just got to refresh this. I don't know what's going on. Bad internet. But yeah, it's pretty much just taking the best market value plays on each of these DFS platforms. If you're someone that does not have a good enough time to do research and you just want to get plays, good mathematical edges, just come to DG Fantasy, sign up using code RICH. You're going to get 25% off your first month, but they feed you really, really good plays. As of right now, there's not the best plays in the world out, but sometimes you'll see a whole bunch of green plays. Just take those top plays, and you don't even have to put too much research into it if you don't have a lot of time. And if there's sports that you don't know much about, you can just go ahead there and you're basing it off where other sportsbooks have their lines. These sportsbooks have tons of tools and tons of research and tons of data-based stuff that makes their plays for them, and people that are really smart making plays for them and setting lines and things like that. So when you're getting mathematical edges, it's just a great way to bet, and you can see that in the hit rate that we've had in the 3 DG Fantasy slips of the day. So we're going to do that again today. Hopefully that can cash out again for us, but definitely check out DG Fantasy, code RICH, link in the description down below as well if you want to check it out. All right, so jumping into some injury news, we only have a 4-game slate, so it should be pretty quick here, and there's not a ton of injuries, especially in this first game, but there's 3 teams on a back-to-back. The Brooklyn Nets are one of them, the Wizards are one of them, and the Pacers are one of them. I always like to mention that because even guys that might not be on the injury report, they might go through warm-ups and they don't feel that good, and they end up being a late scratch. But as of right now, Brooklyn Nets, the only injury is D'Lo. 18.5 point spread is massive for a Brooklyn Nets team that I think can stay in some games. So just keep that in mind. Definitely some blowout potential here. But for injuries, nothing too much going on. D'Lo is a guy that's been in and out of the lineup here for the new Nets team. You can see the projected minutes going on right here as well. So should be a relatively healthy one. Just keep in mind, definitely some blowout potential there. For the Wizards and Detroit, whole bunch of game time decisions for the Washington Wizards. A bunch of guys sat yesterday, so like Middleton, Smart, I don't know if they're going to go. Bilal Coulibaly, the guy we bet on yesterday, he's going to be a game time decision after, I think, an ankle injury. Brogdon, game time decision. The only guy that we know is out is going to be Saddiq Bey. So Wizards, definitely a harder team to bet on for today. They're going up against the Detroit Pistons. This is another big spread, 14.5 points. Jaden Ivey, the only injury news for that team. For the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers, this is one that's definitely going to matter for the standings. They're between 1 game from each other. I think like they're the 4 and 5 seed right now. So we could see a good game here. These two teams played each other in the playoffs last year, so maybe some bad blood as well. As of right now, Damian Lillard, Giannis, both probable tags. They should be ready to go in this one. Bobby Portis still out with that suspension. And then Tyrese Halliburton has missed the last few games. He's a game-time decision. Didn't play the last half of the first half of the back-to-back. So could be ready to go in this one, but honestly don't know. He's someone that gets injured, and those injuries tend to linger. So we'll hopefully get Tyrese Halliburton in this one to get a nice closer game. 2.5 point spread as of right now. Pacers at home could be a good one to bet on in terms of this slate being kind of rough. This could be the good game of the night. Then we got the Clippers and the Pelicans, 7.5 point spread. Norman Powell still out for this team. Ben Simmons still out for this team. Then for the other side, we got the Pelicans, Brandon Boston still out, and Kelly Olynyk out. Jose Alvarado going to be a game-time decision here. So we've seen a couple of these injuries, for the past few games. Here's the projected minutes for the Pelicans, going to the projected minutes for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, I like to see getting a whole bunch of time, and James Harden, continues to get a ton of minutes. Again, blowout potential kind of in this one. The Pelicans are pretty bad, but with Zion and lineup, they tend to be a little bit better, obviously. So that's the injury news. Definitely a harder slate to bet on. But with that said, I'm really liking 2 plays, and I do have a pretty good lean in this one as well. All right, so jumping into the first play of the video, first of all, we're going to be using a tool called Props Madness. If you're watching this video and you're like, I got to try this thing out, you can get a 7-day free trial using my link in the description down below. It's code RICH when signing up. You get that free trial, and then you're also going to get 25% off your first month or your first year. And yes, they have WNBA, which is going to be pretty interesting to look at this summer. First game we're going to look at is going to be in this Wizards and Pistons game. It's a pretty big spread, 15.5 point spread, but the guy I'm going to go to is pretty much any time I see someone playing the Wizards. The big man against the other on the other team, Jaylen Duren, is going to be what I'm looking at. I like his scoring potential here. I like his rebound potential. I'm going to go to his 26.5 points and rebounds, which has been pretty hit or miss over the last 30 games, but you can see right interiorly, 84% of his points come there. They're ranked 23rd. Now, I'll point out the first thing, because they did play each other back in November. Jaylen Duren is a guy that likes to foul a whole bunch, and he only played 18 minutes in that game, and it was a blowout, 20-point blowout. But in 18 minutes, he still had 21 rebounds or points and rebounds, 11 points and 10 rebounds. So that is a good data point in my eyes. He's projected for, I think, 30 minutes in this one. Take a look right here in the projected minutes. Pretty sure he's projected for 30 minutes, which I like to see. 29 minutes. So right around that 30-minute mark. If he's going to get that much time on the court, we can actually go ahead and see that. Even just getting like 27 to 30 minutes or something, 27 to 31 minutes. I can make this chart go. 27 to 31 minutes, he's going to be on a 57% hit rate, so I do like to see that. If you also take into account that Jaden Ivey's not going to be in this one, the hit rate jumps to a 72% hit rate. So if he's going to get the time on the floor and he doesn't start going and fouling everyone like he tends to do sometimes, I like to see this hit rate obviously in a very, very weak matchup. We haven't even put into account that this is a defense that ranks 23rd defensively in that restricted area. That's where he gets most of his points. So even just adding that filter right here, this is going to be the restricted area. We want to go to DSZ. If we can see, let's take out those top 10 teams. Jumps to a 78% hit rate when getting that much time without Jaden Ivey in the lineup. So the hit rate's obviously awesome here. He just needs to get out of foul trouble. You can see similar types of players. This is all going to be like centers, have people that score similarly to him in that putback, transition, cutting in restricted area. 60% of those players have gone over against this team, so obviously love to see that. And even in games they win by a whole bunch, with these types of matchups, there's not a whole bunch, but the spread is 14.5. 14-plus point victory. He's over in all 4 of those games when he gets that much time in a similar matchup like this. So Duren, I like his rebounding potential. Here's the rebound lines on those. The points potential, he's on over in all the points potential lines. I'm liking this combo, points and rebounds for Jaylen Duren. Just don't get into foul trouble, play your minutes, and crush this team down low. Moving along to the next play here, it's going to be Evan Mobley at his 25.5 points and rebounds. Looks like it's 26.5 now, maybe even more than that. 20. Wow. Okay, so this line is moving like crazy. Looks like it's 28.5 in a lot of books now. I guess I should look at it there because that's where most people are going to get it. I still like this play because I think he's in a great matchup. First thing I'll look at is the games that they're winning by a whole bunch. Again, 18-point spread. Even if they go out and win by 15 plus, 16, 20 plus, he's still over this in 57% of games. So in the blowout situations, I don't mind that too much, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. I was looking at this at 25.5, so this might be a little bit different. I can't believe how much that moved in literally like an hour. But he's got a weak matchup. I like this matchup for him. Transition, points in the paint. He's been absolutely crazy in terms of what he's been doing lately, and he's projected for a decent amount of minutes. So let's go to his minutes real quick. Projected for 33 minutes, which I love to see. They're not in a back-to-back, which is something I do like to see, and the team they're playing is on a back-to-back. That's something I'll also say about the last play we just talked about, but he's projected for 33 minutes. Games he's seeing 30 to 36 minutes. Over this in 69% of games, including a whole bunch lately. That doesn't even include the weak interior defense here. His restricted area defense or dominant scoring zone. Take out those top 10 teams. Over this in 60.7% of games, and he's been very consistent recently. So even at 28.5, obviously this is looking pretty good. I was looking this at 25.5 when I was looking at all my research, 78.6% hit rate. So obviously I was loving it there. Evan Mobley, I think even in the blowout situation, going up against a team that's really weak here and someone that's been pretty much a wagon with that much time on the floor and considering the weak interior defense, I think this is a great spot for Evan Mobley. Now, what the Brooklyn Nets have been doing well recently They've been one of the best defensive teams in the league, and it's because they run guys off the three-point line. You can see in terms of above the break threes, they're ranked 4th there. So I don't think this is a great matchup for a lot of other guys to score, especially in the blowout situation. I think this is something that you work it down low. Evan Mobley, the main guy, going to be down there. Jared Allen obviously going to get some touches as well. But I like his points and rebounds potential. Head-to-head, you can see they went up against each other twice so far this year. When he got that much time, he was able to crush this. When he didn't see that much time, he still got over this line at 25.5. If you wanted to look at it at 28.5, I guess it's moved all the way up there. He's still over in 2 of the 3 games. So Evan Mobley looks like this line is moving a whole bunch, kind of caught off guard here. But wherever you can find it, even at 28.5, I don't mind it, especially if you're going to get some decent value on this line. I just think he's the best guy in terms of the matchup here to score the points. If there's going to be any sort of blowout situation, I think he's going to be, the main reason why. So Evan Mobley, wherever his points and rebounds line is, I do like his rebounding potential. I obviously like his scoring potential here. He's gotten it twice against the Brooklyn Nets already. If this one can stay relatively close, which I do think the Nets can do that sometimes, that's just more time on the floor for Mobley. And if you can see the 30 to 36 minutes like we were looking at before, the hit rate on this is awesome. So I did realize what happened, why these lines are starting to boost, and it's because we did just get some injury news. Now Donovan Mitchell is going to be a game time decision. Also DeAndre Hunter, Ty Jerome also ruled out. So a couple guys getting ruled out. If Donovan Mitchell ends up not playing this game, we can see the hit rate without Donovan Mitchell is also really good over this in 3 of 4 games, just hooked against the Blazers. But yeah, the weak interior defense for a guy like Evan Mobley, especially if we're not going to get Donovan Mitchell here, that's definitely where the main offense is going to be, and they're going to be running those guys off the three-point line. So Mobley definitely in a position here. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell's going to play or not, but that's the reason the line shot up from 25.5 all the way to 28.5. It could still be moving here. So I'd take Evan Mobley, even at 28.5. I like it there. Again, 25.5 was a great value where I was looking at it before. This goes for both guys. The Nets are on a back-to-back. That could be more rebounding potential here. The Wizards are on a back-to-back, so that Jaylen Duren line, that could be more rebounding potential there if guys are not shooting as much. They don't have their legs under them as much as they did in that first half of the back-to-back. So liking both these big guys, Evan Mobley and Jaylen Duren, those are the 2 plays of the day. I still do have a lean, but let's get into the DG Fantasy slip of the day. All right, so this is something that we've done 3 videos in a row now. The first day we did it on PrizePicks. We went 4 for 5 in those plays. Then we did an Underdog slip that cashed to 6x, which was awesome. And then yesterday we did a Dabble slip and it cashed for us. So all this is doing is looking at the market value where other books have their lines and pretty much saying, hey, this line, this Tyrese Halliburton as a line as of right now, Dabble's at 14. They're behind the market value. Everyone else has them at 12.5. Someone's got them at 13.5, but heavily favored on the under. 14 is too high. You might want to be looking at the under. This doesn't go into hit rates or anything like that, but it does go into market value, and all of these billion-dollar companies, some of them are looking at the hit rates and the matchups and all those different things. And honestly, they're probably the smartest people out there. They know how to set their lines. That's why they're billion-dollar companies. So this is a tool, a very, very powerful tool that you can go in very quickly, make slips in like a minute or 2, just taking the top plays. Sometimes they get bumped off because they're that powerful, this tool is, and you have to readjust and find the next best one. I do recommend only getting plays that have like more than 2 data points. So like this play, you're really only basing it off one other book. So I like to see 2 or 3 data points at least. You can actually set the minimum data point to whatever you want to there, and then you're going to see lines basing it off at least two market values. But yeah, if you don't understand this, it's pretty much just you're essentially buying a stock for a discounted price, and it's a mathematical edge, a mathematical way of betting. Some professional sports bettors only bet this way using EV, and Daily Grind Fantasy makes it very, very easy for you to do that. So again, use code RICH to sign up to DG Fantasy if you're someone that wants to make plays very, very quickly, very good plays very, very quickly, and it's all integrated with all these different DFS platforms, so definitely check it out. I'm going to go ahead and make maybe a better slip today. We did Dabble, we did Underdog, we did PrizePicks. Maybe we'll do a better slip today and try to get another winner for us. So I went ahead and made a 5-man over on Betr. I am limited to $10 on any sort of discounted play, and they give us 2 discounts every single day. That's one of the best things about Betr. So this would be a 10 for $200 win, which is pretty sweet. Also, if you're new to Betr and you want to sign up using my code RichPicks, there's a link in the description down below. You're going to get your first bet up to $250 match. So if you put down $250 and it loses, you get it right back into your account. If you put down $20 and it loses, you're going to get that back into your account. So you're going to get some sort of perk for signing up using Betr, using my code RichPicks. You also get access to all the discounted squares every single day. And as a new user, I think you do get a free square when you sign up. So you'll be able to add that to your play as well. But I'm going to use Giannis's discount, 29.5. I think he's in a great spot here. Keon Johnson under 2.5 assists. Bogdanovich over 9.5 points. Kind of goes hand in hand with Harden under his 25.5 points. And then Bub Carrington under 4.5 assists. Hopefully some guys for the Wizards come in here and play against Detroit. Pretty difficult matchup for a guy like Bub to get some assists against this team. So here's what I got going for Betr. Very strictly based on EV. Again, definitely check out DG Fantasy. If you're someone that likes to make slips very quickly, very mathematically based, this is definitely a way to do it. Code RICH when signing up for that. And, tail our Betr slip. If all the plays aren't there, you'll just see the power of DG Fantasy. It's that good. And that brings us to our only lean of the day, and it's going to be Brook Lopez here at 10.5 points. Obviously, the hit rate on this already looking really good. 69% of games he's going over this. The reason it's a lean is just because I don't like the volume he's gotten in the last 2 games, specifically even the last 3 games. Only 23 minutes here in a blowout. This was 27 minutes, and he had, I guess it just jumped to 11.5. All right, so it looks like pretty much every play I'm looking at is getting bumped here. Looks like a couple books have this at 11, PrizePicks and Dabble at 11, other books at 11.5. So I was looking at this at 11.5 and 10.5. I like it either way, but we'll just look at 11.5 because that's probably where most people are going to get this line. But still over at 58% of games. What I was saying about these games, I just don't like his volume he's been getting. 5 shots, 4 shots, 1 shot. This was a blowout, and also these 2 games were pretty hard matchups for him. So that's why it's a lean. I do like the potential here. I think he's got a much better spot here to score the ball. And let's first take a look at the head-to-head. So he's gone against these guys twice so far this year, 11 points and 16 points. Again, this is one that's going to be a pretty big one for the standings. They're very close in the standings. Obviously, 4 versus 5 is going to be home court advantage in the first round or not. And we can see last year he's had pretty good success against this team. Yes, some of these in the playoffs, but we might get a playoff-like atmosphere in tonight's game over an 8 of 11 games. So against this team, he's been pretty good. Now let's take a look at the matchup here. So going up against the season shot chart doesn't look amazing because a lot of his shots come from above the break threes, but I think that's going to be a little bit more towards guys that create their own shots. Maybe they're a little bit better at staying in front of those guys. Damian Lillard, not a guy that hits a lot of threes against this team, or at least this year he hasn't. Spot up, they are more middle of the road. They're ranked 16th, and that's going to be much more for a guy like Brook Lopez here. And then pick and roll big man, they're ranked 23rd, 24th in terms of points in the restricted area, and then points in the paint, they're ranked 28th in that regard, as you can see right there, PITP allowed. 28th. So I think it's a very much a better matchup for Brook Lopez to score the ball, and we're going to see that in the filters here. So first of all, I want to attack that restricted area defense, the points in the paint defense. So it's going to be his player type, dominant player type 2. That's that points in the paint. Pick and roll big man offense, if I can find it right here. Yeah, defensive ranked versus DPT2, dominant player type 2, and they're ranked 23rd there. So I'm going to take away the top 10 teams in terms of defending that. This is going to be a 69% hit rate. Then we're going to look at points in the paint. They're very weak at points in the paint, and we can see that right here. Opponent points in the paint, they're ranked 28th. So take out the top 15 teams in terms of defending that. Now we're getting a nice 72% hit rate, which I like to see. The next thing I'd point out is the fact that he is a spot-up guy. So going to spot-up, let's take away those top 5 teams. Let's take away those bottom 5 teams because they're very middle of the road. They're ranked 16th there. Still a 72% hit rate. And then the last thing I'd point out is the minutes here. He's projected for 30 minutes, I believe, in this one. Yeah, projected for 30 minutes. So hopefully no blowout. This is a 2.5-point spread. If he's going to get that much time on the floor, seeing, 27 to 35 minutes, or especially if this one's going to stay close in a playoff-like atmosphere, over this now in 73.3% of games. And then you take out Bobby Portis, who's not on this team right now because of the suspension, over in 4 of 4 games. So we got there, took a lot of filters, but I think this is a good matchup for him to score the ball. Yes, he shoots a lot of threes, not the best matchup for above the break threes, but at the same time, the spot up shooting is a mediocre matchup for him. So I don't mind his potential to knock down some threes. And even if he can't, the interior is where it's going to be really weak. Pick and roll big man, points in the paint. I think he's going to get some dunks down there, down low. And he's had pretty good success against this team, especially in the playoffs like we looked at last year. So I keep saying this is lean, but we only gave out 2 picks. Might as well boost it up to an official play. We looked far enough into this. I think this is a good spot for him to score the ball. He's been scoring really good. If you just take away everything and look at games without Bobby Portis in that much time, he's over this in 63% of games, including difficult matchups. I think Brook Lopez in this playoff-like atmosphere, these teams are going to be going head-to-head. They are kind of battling for playoff positioning and especially home court advantage in the playoffs. These guys might see each other in the playoffs. So we could see a good game. We could see a whole lot of minutes from him, and he's in a good spot to score the ball. So I don't mind bumping this up to an official play to give us 3 official plays on the day. All right, so real quick recap of what we talked about in this one. Jaylen Duren over 26.5 points and rebounds. Evan Mobley, I took him at 25.5 points and rebounds. He's getting boosted up with some injury news popping on the table. I play this up to 28.5. If you do find it there, I think it's okay there. And then Brook Lopez over 11.5 points to give us 3 official video picks. We also talked about the Betr slip. Definitely sign up to Betr using code RichPicks. You get a free month in my Discord. You get a free square. You get access to all their discounts, which they give out every single day, 2 discounts every single day. Here's the DG Fantasy slip of the day. While we're talking about it, check out DG Fantasy. It's an awesome freaking tool. If you're someone that likes to make bets and you don't have a lot of time, here's a good one to just go to. You can just tail the top plays if you want to look at. Make sure there's at least 2 data points I like to look at, but you're just making market value plays, mathematical edges, and it's an awesome way to bet. Check it out using code RICH to get 25% off your first month. And then, of course, Props Madness. We've been using this every single day. You see how powerful it is when you start using these filters, seeing how people score the ball. It's very intricate, and it gives us very good edges. So definitely check out Props Madness using code RICH. All the links in the description down below. If you want to get access to all my plays and a really fun Discord community, check out the links in the description down below. Of course, there's plenty of different ways to get in for free, like I mentioned, signing up for Betr, signing up for PrizePicks, Underdog, Sleeper, any of those different platforms that you might want to check out. You get the promotions from using my code, but you also get the free month in my Discord. So if you do that, comment something down below or hit me up in the free part of the Discord in the general chat and just say, hey, I used your code. I'll send you a DM and we'll get the screenshot in there to confirm it, and then you'll get a free month. But that's going to do it for us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, smaller slate, so don't go too crazy, but I think there's definitely some value out there. Definitely some blowout potential too, so maybe, tread lightly. Coming off a huge slate, we do got a little bit of a weaker slate here, but definitely seeing the edges. So hopefully we have a good one. Thanks for watching. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. Of course, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.